You've been paying your premiums for years, and now that you're hurt, your insurance company is suddenly hard to reach, slow to act, and full of excuses. They'll act like they're on your side, but behind the scenes, they're working to protect their bottom line, not your recovery. I'm Mama Justice, a personal injury attorney here in Mississippi, and I've spent over 20 years going toe-to-toe with these companies on behalf of my clients. In this video, I'll show you what they don't tell you about your claim, how they undervalue it, delay it, and try to get you to settle fast. Because once you see how the system really works, you'll know how to protect yourself and make sure you're not the one getting shortchanged. Let me start with the truth most insurance companies hope you never realize. Their main job is to save money, not to help you get as much as you deserve. Even if you've paid premiums for years, when you file a claim, especially after a car crash, a slip and fall, or other injuries, they start looking for ways to pay you as little as possible. Imagine this. You've just been hurt in a car wreck in Jackson. Your car's a mess, your back hurts, and you're suddenly getting medical bills you never expected. You call your insurance agent, thinking they'll swoop in and fix everything. But behind the scenes, they're already thinking about how to keep their payout to a minimal. They may act friendly, but remember, claims adjusters work for insurance companies, not for you. Their questions aren't just so they can move your claim along. They're also looking for ways to reduce, delay, or even deny your payment. In Mississippi, insurance companies are supposed to handle your claims in good faith, but that doesn't mean they'll take your side or fight for your best interests. So the first thing they don't want you to know is when you're hurt and you file a claim, you and your insurance company are not on the same team. You need to be on guard because they are looking out for their bottom line. Insurance companies in Mississippi are famous for throwing out lowball offers soon after you report your injury. They do this because they know you might be scared, confused, or desperate just for quick cash, especially if you're missing work or facing medical bills. Let's say you slip and hurt your ankle at a grocery store in Gulfport. After a week of hobbling around and worrying about doctor bills, the store's insurance company calls and offers you $1,500 to settle things quickly. It might sound tempting, but here's what they're hoping you don't realize. Once you take that check and sign their paperwork, you almost always give up your right to ask for more, even if your injury turns out to be much worse than you thought. I've seen plenty of Mississippi folks who took that first offer only to learn later that they needed surgery or months of physical therapy, and the insurance company wouldn't pay a penny more. You have every right to say no to the first offer. In fact, it's often smart to wait until you've seen all your doctors, know the full cost of your injuries, and have spoken with a lawyer before accepting anything. Insurance companies won't tell you this, but they almost always have more money on the table than their first offer suggests. This is a classic tactic. After a car wreck on I-55, you might get a call from the insurance adjuster, sometimes even the same day. They'll ask if they can record your version of what happened. They say, "Oh, it's just routine," or needed to process your claim. What they won't say is that Mississippi law does not require you to give a recorded statement to the other driver's insurance company. Why is this important? Because anything you say on that recording can and will be used to twist your story or trip you up later. You might say you feel okay right now, only to discover that days later you really have a serious neck injury. Or maybe you accidentally say you didn't see the other car, which the insurance company tries to use against you, even if the other driver ran the red light. It's always your choice whether to talk to the other side's insurance company, and it's almost never a good idea to do it without advice from a lawyer. You can simply say, "I'm not comfortable giving a recorded statement right now." The insurance company won't volunteer this information because recorded statements often save them money at your expense. After an accident, most people in Mississippi worry about their medical bills first. Insurance companies know this, and they often try to convince you that your only option is to use your health insurance or pay out of pocket and wait to be reimbursed. But that's just not true. If you're hurt in a car accident, you could have access to several sources of payment, including your own vehicle's medical payments coverage. If you bought it, some people don't even realize that they have this. The at-fault driver's liability insurance, which should pay for your injuries if they cause the accident, your own uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, especially if the other driver doesn't have any insurance or enough insurance, third parties, In cases where a dangerous road design contributed to the wreck, here's an example. A client from Biloxi was rear-ended by someone who only carried the state minimum insurance. Her hospital bills were sky high. The insurance company told her there was nothing more they could do. But together, we found out her own automobile policy included a $10,000 medical payments coverage, and she had underinsured motorist protection. That meant she was able to get her bills paid without going into bankruptcy. Insurance companies often won't tell you about all the ways you can get paid. They'd rather you just accept what they first offer and go away. Don't take their word for it. Ask questions and get good advice. In Mississippi, there's specific laws designed to keep insurance companies honest. For example, they're supposed to handle your claim in good faith. That means they just can't drag their feet, ignore your calls, or deny your claim without a reason. If they do, they could face what's called a bad faith lawsuit, and those can come with penalties much bigger than the original claim. Insurance companies don't want you to know that you might be able to get more than just your medical bills and lost wages. You could be entitled to additional compensation for their bad behavior. But here's the tricky part. The burden is often on you to prove the insurance company acted in bad faith. That's why it's so important to keep records, save all the letters, emails, and notes of the phone calls. And if you're feeling stonewalled or bullied, talk to an attorney who knows the Mississippi laws inside and out. Insurance companies love it when people try to handle claims by themselves. Why? Because people don't always know their rights, what their cases are worth, or how to push back against unfair tactics. The insurance adjuster may act friendly, but they're counting on your inexperience. You might even hear them say things like, "You don't need a lawyer for this," or "Lawyers will just take all your money." But over and over, I've seen clients who got far better results once they had someone in their corner who understood the system. For instance, I once helped a teacher from Tupelo who was injured in a wreck. The insurance company offered her $5,000, barely enough to cover her ER visit. After we got involved, we collected all her records, showed the true value of her injuries, and ended up settling for 4 times what she was first offered. She would never have known that her case was worth that much if she had accepted the insurance company's word for it. Don't let the insurance company convince you that you have to fight alone. You have a right to legal help. And in many injury cases, lawyers only get paid if you win. Another little-known fact, insurance companies may pressure you to hurry up and settle before you're ready, or make you feel like you're on a strict clock. In Mississippi, you generally have 3 years from the date of your injury to file a lawsuit for most personal injury claims. That's more time than most companies would have you believe. But, and this is a big one, don't wait to get started. Evidence can disappear. Witnesses, memories can fade, and the insurance company's patience for your claim can run out. The sooner you talk to someone who knows the process, the better the chance you have to get the compensation you deserve. I always tell folks, start your claim as soon as you can, but don't let fear or pressure rush you into a bad deal. The insurance company's deadline is not always the law's deadline. To wrap up, here's what your insurance company doesn't want you to know about your claim in Mississippi. They're not on your side and want to save money, not pay you fairly. Their first offer is almost never their best. You do not have to give a recorded statement. More sources might cover your medical bills than you realize. Mississippi law protects you more than they admit. If you know how to use it, you don't have to handle this alone, and you likely will do better with help. While you have time, don't wait too long or let them rush you. If you found this helpful, you'll definitely want to watch our next video, 3 ways companies can be forced to pay you after a truck accident. It could make all the difference if you or a loved one are ever hurt in a crash with a big rig. Don't miss out on key ways to protect your rights and avoid costly mistakes. See you over there.